Hey, what's up, HVAC Financial Freedom? This is John Victoria, and if you don't know me yet, I'm the founder of HVAC Financial Freedom, and our mission is to create 200 HVAC millionaires over the next 5 years. We got a Facebook group, we got a podcast, and soon we'll have a book that you can read called The HVAC Marketing Machine, which will supercharge your marketing. And so today I wanted to go live because I want to share with you and announce our very first Mindset Monday. And the goal of it and kind of the intention behind it is that you become a millionaire in your mind before it happens in reality. You see it's in your mind's eye, and then soon and later into the future, it comes to fruition. And so Mindset Monday, the goal of it is to help take your mindset to the next level. I don't know exactly where you're at. You could be just starting up your business. You could be 20, 30 years in business. I'll be the first to say that each of us, we have room for improvement in our mindset. And so whether that's tackling some of the limiting beliefs that we have, success strategies that we want to implement, how to create your perfect day, how to strategically plan for the future, this is what we're going to be discussing in Mindset Monday and much more. And also, this is a call for speakers. So if we do have some of you who are watching this video who have bulletproof mindsets, resilience, and have an amazing story, would always love to speak with you, chat with you, interview you so you can share your thought process with the group. And so before I hop into the main bulk of the content today, I want to share with you my own personal journey with mindset. And it all started when I was about 11, 12 years old. It was a while back. And for me, it's kind of surprising when I tell people this, but I got into personal development at a very young age. I was reading Anthony Robbins. I was reading Sean Stevenson, Brian Tracy, Jim Rohn. Absolutely love these guys. But the reason why I got into it is a bit less positive. The reason why I got into personal development was at the time when I was growing up, I was really unsatisfied and unhappy with my personal identity. I dare say that I was depressed at the time, and I really just was not happy with the way things were going in my life. And it was a very, the way that I kind of imagined the world was that I was in this very dark cloud and, things were not headed in a good direction. And so for me, I deliberately sought out resources and people and books that could help change my perspective on the world. And so I got into Tony Robbins. I learned about affirmations. I learned about visualizations, meditation, the whole 9 yards. And that was starting at a very young age. And so I've continued that journey year after year. I've read so many different books. I've hired coaches, consultants, easily spent over 6 figures in terms of coaching and program and travel and meeting people, mentors, all in an effort to change the way that I view the world. And so with that, what are kind of like the fruits of that? Well, I started my business around 5-6 years ago. And, I started with absolutely no business background. Didn't come from a family of entrepreneurs. My parents, my dad was in the Navy. My mom was in the medical field. No one really in my family with a business background. But even with that, without a business background, without a business degree, over the past 5-6 years, I've been able to build a 7-figure company. And I attribute that not because I'm so lucky or so special, but because of mindset and the personal development and the insights and the knowledge that comes from doing the self work. And so I'm really passionate about this. And that's why I wanted to do Mindset Monday, because I know that many of you already have the resources, you have the assets, you may already have the network and skills in place to do what it is you want to do. But the only thing that's stopping you is what's between these two things right here, your ears. And it's the head trash that is in between these two things. And what I want to do is on a weekly basis for Mindset Monday, we're going to be breaking through a lot of these things And I'm excited about that because that's my passion. It's to, and just to quickly share, my personal mission is to set the world free. And the way I want to do that is through mindset. So for today, I got something exciting to share with you. You might have already seen the title for today's presentation, but today I want to shift the paradigm on how people look at success. People are always thinking about success as an additive process. I have to do all these new habits. I have to wake up at 5 a.m. I have to meet all these new people. I have to, insert A, B, C, D, E, F, G, whatever you want to insert in there. But it's always about adding. Instead, I want to flip it on its head and I want to talk about success being a process of subtraction. So, to give you a quick few examples to give you an idea of what I mean, imagine that you are, going to the gym, you're trying to get healthy, and you're working out all the time, and you're going to the gym, you got a great coach, but for some reason, you aren't making any progress. And a lot of times that might just be because there are things in your life that are stopping you from being successful. So, for example, if you are binge drinking on the weekends, if you're eating fast food 2 to 3 times a day, you're not going to succeed in your health if you keep on doing these things. So, it's a process of subtraction. Next, friends. You might have the best friends in the world, the most supportive people in your social circle. But if you have 1, 2, 3 negative Nancy's that really pull you down and you consider them close friends, you're not going to succeed. They're going to drag you down if you spend a lot of time with them. It just bleeds onto people, like how people think. And then number 3, in business, you could have the best service. You could have the best marketing. But if your pricing is way too low to make a profit, you're not going to get ahead. And you're going to need to subtract. You're going to need to subtract some of your beliefs around pricing in order for you to properly break through. And so all these things, it's in these examples, it's not about adding more. In fact, adding more would just cause more to the distraction and to focus on what really matters. But really, it's a process of subtraction. And so the question that I want to help answer today and open up for anyone who's watching this is, what are the things that are blocking you from succeeding in your business? And so what I'm going to do is I'm going to pull up. I also have an iPad that I have here that I'm going to be journaling on so that we can have, a little bit more engagement versus just seeing my smug face just talking on the screen all day. But cool. Let me pull up the pencil and we can start off with some of the things that could be blocking you in your business. And I've already listed out a few categories. Okay. So the first thing that is going to be potentially blocking you from succeeding in your business will have to do with time sucks that might be stopping you from succeeding. And the first one I'm going to share with you is going to be your commitments. So commitments, these can come in a lot of different forms. So, if you are a parent, you might have kids, you might have a dog, you might have things with your health that you have to commit to, like going to the gym. You might have hobbies such as you might love art, or you might love boating or golfing or snowboarding. And there might be some hidden commitments in your life, such as an implicit, or maybe like an invisible expectation of a significant other to have to go on vacation or do this or that. Or maybe it's your friends. You have to drink with your friends every time you see them. It could be Netflix. It could be a whole lot of things. But there are commitments in our life that we've either made consciously or subconsciously that are sucking up our time. The thing about strategy is that strategy, as I define it, is the alternative use of limited resources. Each of us, we only have a limited number of hours every single day. And one of the biggest drags is just having all of these commitments, invisible and ones that we've agreed to, that are just sucking up on our time. And I'm not saying that you shouldn't pour more time into your family or to your friends or into your hobbies, but you really have to ask yourself the question, what am I really trying to accomplish in my life? If you are truly trying to make a breakthrough in your business, your calendar needs to reflect it, and your commitments need to reflect that commitment. So all these things, just some ideas, again, kids, dog, health, hobbies, hidden. I don't know what that is for you, But one of the helpful exercises that you could do is for a week, every hour on the hour, set a timer and just write down, what is going on right now, and is this a commitment that accurately reflects with the goals that I'm trying to accomplish in my life. Okay, so that is number one. Number two, let me pull this up. This is energy drains. These are things that you might want to eliminate before you just begin to add things on. And so for energy drains, you can categorize this into two areas. Number one is going to be emotional energy drains. And then number two is going to have to do with physical energy drains. The first one, this one's pretty tough. If you ever face a difficult time in your life, let's say that I've had a few friends recently that have lost, their parents. And it's one of the most sad things that can happen. And that being in your life, like you can't ignore it. And it's going to be something that is going to pull your focus. It could be, let's say you go through a breakup, or maybe you go through a divorce. That's something that's going to be sucking your energy up. It could be a fight you're having in personal life. It could be stress. It could be things that you dread that are going on in your life. It could be anger towards someone, something. But there's these drains that are pulling at you. And if you aren't able to resolve it, sometimes it just takes time. It's going to be a drag on you and your business. Number two, with energy drains, has to do with physical. And this has to do with things that you can just very easily take care of once you focus on it in your life. And what could this look like? This could be, not sleeping well, or maybe it's not eating properly. It could be sickness. It could be lack of comfort in your work setup. There's a whole lot of things that this could be, but they're constantly draining your energy. And the only thing that you have to change is you got to remove some of these blockers, these weeds in your garden of your life. And until you remove them, you're going to be continuously drained. Number three, the third thing that could be it has to do with business knowledge. And specifically, not just business knowledge, but it's knowledge that that you think to be true, but is not actually true. A great example of this might have to do, and you could possibly relate to this. It could have to do with the way that you price your services. Sometimes people and business owners have this norm of how much they can charge for their customers. And, that might come from, seeing the competition. That could come from, that could simply just come from what they've seen happen in their own life, or maybe as a family business. But there's some belief that this is the way that things should be, the norm. But very well, like you might think that way and you think that it's so true, but it could be the case that someone in the town over, or even the same town, could be charging much higher, and they have no qualms about it at all. And I don't think it has anything to do with, being more realistic or anything like that, but it's just that the beliefs that you have are stopping you from charging at a rate that you feel that you deserve. And so not all the time is it adding more business knowledge, but it could just be removing some of those things that you believe that you think to be true, but really aren't true. The next thing I want to go over, the fourth thing that we have to remove, has to do with distractions. And distractions specifically, there's a lot. There's two categories that I like to put distractions in. There are passive distractions, and then there are active distractions. For passive distractions, this is anything from, getting texts or phone calls that are unexpected, just pulling you from the thing that you're focusing in on. It could be checking your email compulsively, just seeing, if there's anything that's up, an invoice. It could be, things like your communication tools. Maybe you might use Slack, you might use, something else. It could be Facebook. And then also another one could just be, if you're at home, your dog. If you're trying to work on the business and you got your dog there, it's definitely going to impact you. And so we got the passive, and then we also have the active income, or sorry, not active, the active distractions. And so these are things like me going onto YouTube and just going down this rabbit hole of, it could be crypto. I'm really into that. It could be, just jumping into just reading articles and websites on every little thing that you're interested in. It could be just getting distracted with the home chores, the cooking. It could be looking at news. It could be looking at the next big thing, which is one of my biggest issues. Just looking for the next shiny object. It's called shiny object syndrome. And lastly, it could be social media, just going into the Facebook groups, going on TikTok, and you're just completely off the reservation with spending the time that you need focused on your business. Like I said before, we have a limited time every single day, and we waste so much of it doing absolutely nothing. We're not directing our resources properly. And a lot of these distractions are things that we just need to cut so that we can properly progress in our life. The next thing that I want to go over has to do with limiting beliefs. And we talked a little bit about this earlier, and it is related to business knowledge. But there's more than just just the knowledge part of things. But limiting beliefs in terms of scarcity, fear of increasing your prices. It could be fear of being able to find customers or fear of the competition. There's also this limiting beliefs around our worthiness to be successful, our worthiness to find and to work with the best people. There's just sometimes we have this inherent lack within us. It's limiting beliefs around feedback. We're afraid to give our prices as to what they truly should be, and we want them to be, but we're afraid of the feedback that we're going to get from these customers, or it could be pricing you'll give to your family and friends, and you don't want to upset them. Then lastly, it's going to be around fear of the unknown, fear of what it might mean to really grow and take your business to the next level, fear of just like all these things that you don't know and what could go wrong, just this looming fear, all these things which are pulling from your ability to truly focus. So, these are the top 5 things that I wanted to share with you that are really could be causing a major issue in your life when it comes to mindset. And also, these are the weeds in your garden that you're going to have to pull out. It's not just about planting great seeds, but it's about pulling out these weeds that are negatively impacting your success. And so, just to close up, I wanted to share with you a few solutions that you can pursue that will help you to begin to uproot some of these weeds that may be in your life. And I have three tips that I want to share with you. So the first tip that I want to share is, first is you want to get around people who are more successful than you. These could be people that are specifically in the industry. These could be people that are just successful in general, and people who you want to be like. You want to get around people that are more successful than you, not because you want to feel inferior, but because being around successful people, of people that you want to be like, they shift your norms. So maybe you are afraid of increasing your prices. Getting around successful people who have done it in the past, they make it feel normal and make it feel realistic for you to do that. Also, getting around people who are more successful than you, typically they have their calendar and their schedule organized in a different way than you. And they are okay, and they are happy to say no to things that are not in alignment with their priorities. Being around successful people who have limited time, who have accomplished big things, that's how they are going to be. And so being around these people on a continuous basis, they are shifting your norms as to what is possible and what is normal for you. So that would be, tip number 1, get around people more successful than you. As they say, your network determines your net worth. Let me write that down. Your net worth. Okay. The number 2 tip this is more tactical. And this has to do with resetting expectations. There's a lot of people in your life that have expectations for you. It could be your friends. It could be your family. It could be your team. There's these expectations that may have been set way far in the past, but they may no longer align with the priorities you have today. For example, let's say that you have a team and it's the norm that they can just, walk in and talk to you whenever they want to. And, I'm not saying it's a bad thing, but if you're trying to focus on something, that opportunity cost of switching to a different task, it's pretty tremendous. And so if that norm is just continuously set that, you can walk in whenever, you're not going to be able to make a proper breakthrough mentally on the things that you're working on. So what this might look like is that you have to set a new expectation to say something like, hey, love that we're able to connect on a daily basis, but currently right now I'm working on something big that's meant to help grow the company and help to grow you in your position. From the times 4 to 5 p.m. I just can't I can't have people walking into the office. But anytime before then, it's completely fine. Just this is my time to really focus and grow the business. So that could be a quick example of a conversation that you need to have with a team member. This conversation might need to be had with some of your friends. Maybe your friends like to party all the time, and that's really pulling you from being able to focus in on your business. So you might need to reset the expectation that, hey, I can't come out every single weekend. I can't always grab drinks with you when you want to go for happy hour. I have things I need to focus on, and I need to protect my health for the next day and my energy for the next day. Third example could be maybe it's something to do with your family life. Maybe that there's something that's there that you always do. Maybe you go on vacation every month, maybe every quarter, but maybe it could be that you can't do that as often because right now you're looking to make a full breakthrough in your life. And so it's a difficult thing, especially when expectations have to be shifted, but the expectation shifted, that needs to be a verbal conversation to confirm that the expectation has shifted, because if it's not, then there's going to be misalignment, there's going to be frustrations and people that are unhappy. So that would be a tip number 2. And then tip number 3, this is time blocking. And if you're unfamiliar with time blocking, this just means that, for a given block of time, you take off all distractions and you just focus on one thing. So an example of a time block might mean, hey, an hour from now, I'm going to spend 1 hour focused on reviewing the finances of my business. No one can talk to me. I'm not going to check social media. I'm not going to check my email. I'm not going to take any phone calls during this time. And the power of time blocking is that it gives you the ability to truly focus and leverage the power of mental flow. Most times when people in life, like they just don't have good focus, right? They focus on one thing, they hop to their phone, they hop to a conversation, they, do something else, and they're just hopping back and forth. It's impossible to really get deep and get clear thinking without having dedicated focus time without distraction. And so time blocking, you can look it up. Pomodoro's is a great technique. You can check it out. But just the general idea of time blocking, so that you can work in the business with a focused mind, pen and paper, and really solve some problems. So that's about it. Those are the 5 issues. Those are the 3 tips that I want to share for today. I don't know how it came out for the day, but I hope that you guys took some great value out of it. Again, my goal and my mission is to help to cultivate the right types of mindsets so that you can make a true breakthrough in your business. I'd love to see you, as one of our HVAC millionaires. I'd love for you to build the life of your dreams. And I'd love for you to be able to make an impact because you've been able to build such a strong base that you can just give and you can add to others and pour into others in the world. So that's about it. HVAC Financial Freedom. Thanks so much for checking this out. Let me know if you have any questions as always. But with that, take care, and I'll see you in the next Mindset Monday. Take care.